good. Unclear. Having some technical difficulties here, guys. Don't know what's going on. No, I don't have a special guest today either. Oh, yes, I do. Okay. So. Look for your folks to get on here. Anybody's paying attention. Alright, here we go. Sorry for the delay, folks. I was having some technical difficulties. Verizon Wireless is not happy with you guys. What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 15 of Sessions with Josh. It's been 3 months, almost 4, I can't believe it. We are sitting in the corner today for better service. Does it look different, guys? Does it look smaller or shorter? I got a new stand. Her name is Stella, and she's like 5 feet tall, so I really like this view. And we are in the corner today because, again, we are experiencing technical difficulties. So how you guys doing today? How was your Labor Day? Mine was pretty cool. It was alright. Scattered today. Gotta get used to this flow again, guys. Not gonna lie, but we'll get there, I promise. This one's gonna be short and sweet. All right there. Okay. Alright, guys, so what are we smoking today? What are you guys smoking today? Are you guys sipping on anything? I have right here a Valley Haze from Tioga Sequoia. That's what we're sipping on today. Fire. What am I wearing? My Doodle Bob hat, who is also the special guest today, folks. Me home, me noi, noi, me noi, me noi. You know, you know. What are we munching on? Well, you know, what are we smoking? Shout out to Smokey Craig, the boy. Double OG right here, wrapped inside a classic Swisher, but infused with Rated Meds Gelato Crumble. Just fucking fire. That's good. Alright. Just like this. What are we munching on? It's fucking hot here in Fresno, guys. How hot is it where you're at? If you're not in Fresno. Am I famous yet? Do I have any fans from out of town? This shit's crazy. Alright, what are we munching on, guys? Twix came out with cookies and cream. Twix. Hey, what else am I wearing? Cousin Serena, look. My cousin Serena made this for my sister. The black is onyx for my stone, and hers is the citrine. I love it. This is one of my favorite gifts ever. Got my damn ashtray. I'm just gonna Velcro this shit to the desk. Alright, folks. Let's give it a shot. Looks like a regular Twix, just smaller. Not gonna lie, I missed the caramel. They could have kept the caramel in it and it would have been perfect. I didn't think this one through. I'm gonna have chocolate on my finger now. Alright, guys, did you get your togas? Do you have your Chalice-o-Wine? This one's gonna be quick and simple, guys. I'm not gonna get too into it. Except for the Trojan horse one, but these are really good. without further ado, let's get into it. Word of the day today is going to be mythology. I think we all seen that coming. A legend or folklore of a specific region of the world. I love Greek myths, so there's not going to be a lot of notes here except for the news on the Trojan horse, but I've been into this stuff my entire life, and we're just going to zone out on an easy, smooth little mindful adventure into how people those times used to believe in everything. At least with them, you know, it wasn't like the Salem witch trials, like you could blame the apple falling on Aphrodite, and then if you were to say the same thing in Salem, you'd be hung as a witch, or burned, or tortured, or what have you. I have a whole video on that. Can't remember which one it is, but go check it out if you're interested. Alright, so these are 5 of my favorite shorter stories of the Greek myths, because the 2 I'm going to tell are pretty, the last one's pretty lengthy. And the last one for the mama bears, stay tuned. It's a mama bear story of why we have the seasons in winter. So, alright, number 5, the story of the peacock. Hera was the queen of the gods and sister and wife to Zeus. Oh, but she was so mean. And she was vindictive. She was also jealous. Zeus was, I mean, obviously, a John. A John of Greek mythology. Shout out to cousin. She was very jealous of him and his lovers. And she was even the one who drove Hercules mad to kill his family and his wife and children, because he was the offspring of one of his affairs with mortals. That's what really pissed her off, is when he would have sex with the humans that he created. So, if I'm not mistaken, that was her punishment for doing that to Hercules from Zeus. He killed her favorite creature, what was known as the Hecatoncheires. And it was this big giant with 100 eyes speckled all over its body. And when she found the body of her friend, she mourned it, and the peacock, that's how the peacock got the eyes on its tail. She took each individual eye and she put it on the tail feathers of the peacock, and that's how it's known for today. And I didn't know this part when I was reading it, but apparently the peacock is like our version of the banshee. If the peacock cries for too long, or they're just crying weirdly, it's a sign of the death of one of the family members that owns it. Whereas a classic banshee, it's the same. It's going to be the death of someone you know, if not yourself. All right. Number 4, the birth of Aphrodite. It's kind of graphic, folks, but it's Greek myth, so heads up. There's a lot of overthrowing of kings and who's in charge in a lot of mythologies, not just Greek, but the birth of Aphrodite. She was born from the white foam that formed out of the sea when Cronus, the Titan of time, cut off the genitals of his father, Heaven, and threw them into the ocean. And the ocean bubbled and boiled, and she was born famously out of the clamshell. So yeah, I said that. Time cut off the balls of heaven and threw them into the ocean, and that gave birth to Aphrodite. Weird shit. This one's even weirder, the birth of Pegasus, the winged horse. After Perseus killed Medusa and her blood seeped into the earth, from underneath it popped up Pegasus, and he like flew away like a little flying wall. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there was other monsters she gave birth to, but I think Pegasus was the only one that wasn't ugly. Pegasus was beautiful. And the story of Medusa, that one too is pretty bad. Medusa actually used to be really beautiful. And she was a maiden, or I know there's another word for it. Yeah, a maiden. Oh, what is the word? Maiden. And Athena Athena was a virgin goddess. That's very important in this thing. She was a virgin goddess. She was considered one of the boys in the hierarchy, and she was Zeus's favorite. She was a virgin goddess. No man had ever laid eyes upon her, and neither were her maidens. I have a visitor, guys. Hold on. Who is it? Oh, crap.
Oh, crap.
Well, we have a special guest, guys. I'd like to introduce you to none other than Amy Spencer.
Hi, I'm Amy Spencer.
Oh my gosh. That's my mom, folks.
I wanted the LT from
What's it called? Chalice.
Chalice. I thought you were talking to somebody. No one's here with you?
I'm recording.
No, I know, but I could have swore I heard someone else talking to you.
No. Because of Priscilla, I just saw. Well, back to the Medusa. Athena was considered one of the boys, and not even her maidens were allowed to lay eyes upon her when she got out of her armor or whatever. Poseidon, his mean ass, fell in love with her and wouldn't accept her rejection, and he rapes her in Athena's temple. When Athena finds her and finds out what happens, she immediately sides with the boys. She's one of the boys. It's always been that way. She doesn't believe her. She defiled her temple, and it was her fault, and Poseidon was her uncle, and she turned her hair into snakes, and her face into scales, and her body into that of a snake. And that one's one of the sadder ones. But yeah, that's how Medusa became the famous Medusa. And then ready, we're going to tell a story of love and friendship and soulmates. My number one favorite story of the Greek mythos is the story of finding our other half. They believed way back then that before all of us were connected or born attached to our soulmate, we each had 4 arms and 4 legs and 2 heads, and we were one body. Well, one day the gods get mad, they get jealous of our love because they can't. They're immortal, they don't know it's different for them. And so they struck us all apart and scattered us, each from partners across the world, and we spend our lives every day trying to find our other half. See, there's good things that come out of this. Wasn't that nice? Was that too sappy, Mom?
What?
Was that too sappy? Maybe you listening.
No, I'm eating. What were you eating? You wanted to know what you were eating.
Twix came out with the cookies and cream Twix.
Oh, I thought it was edible.
Oh, no. If I do edibles, I gotta do them like an hour or 2 before I start recording, because that's how long it takes to kick in.
Oh.
Hey sis, Mom's here. She's my special guest. She's getting contact high.
I'm drinking some haze too.
Oh my gosh.
Haze to you.
We're not getting paid to endorse this. Alright, leading into the Trojan horse. Now, I may or may not have been smackledorfed, but clickbait is clickbait. So I'm going to read the article first, and then I'm going to go into the legend of it. And why you should never accept a present from a Greek.
From a what?
From a Greek. Unless they're Xena or Gabrielle.
What if it's Jesse from Full House? He's a Greek.
In the show or in real life? Does anybody know if John Stamos is really Greek?
No, in real life. What about from Cody Soteropoulos then? Kobe, I mean.
I'll take whatever from Uncle Jesse. he could make it through. Uncle Jesse, Xena, and Gabrielle. Good point, Mom. Alright guys, archaeologists claim they have found the Trojan horse in Turkey. They found what they believe to be pieces of the Trojan horse The researchers investigating the historical area have unearthed a large wooden structure. In the same area were the remains of two people dating back to 1200 BC, the same time period Homer wrote the story. Excavations brought to light dozens of wooden plates and beams 49 feet long. What was that? What else could be big back then like that? And it says that they had them connected in strange shapes, and that's what led experts to believe that it was the horse. It was found inside the city walls of, I don't know what the now city is, but of then city Troy. But most experts are claiming that the wood couldn't have survived that long. And I'm like, well, they were giant 50-foot pieces. Like, I think it could have made it. I'm wondering how they're going to be able to tell if it is or not. Because I'm sure the whole thing is not intact. Well, I don't know. They won the city. They might have preserved it as their trophy.
Okay, I won.
Alright, on. Say bye to the Joshers.
Kudos, everybody.
Like 4 people watching. I have people that watch on YouTube though that don't have Facebook, so
Oh.
yeah.
Alright.
Shout out to you guys. Okay, so the whole thing around that was my mom. The whole thing around the Greeks bearing gifts, beware them, is they trick this for not the war went on for 10 years, and for 9 of those years the Greeks could not penetrate the walls, for lack of better words. And in the 10th year they surrendered after killing Achilles' best friend. And so they came up with a plan to surrender a trophy, which was the Trojan horse. And it was hollow, and they gave it to them. And the Trojans fall for it, and they take the horse inside the walls, and they celebrate their victory. They got all drunk and fucked up. They're drinking their meat and smoking their... They had marijuana then. They had probably opium back then. Opium and tobacco. And they're getting fucked up, and the Greeks are inside the horse, like candy in a piñata, waiting to come out, and they wait for the city to pass out drunk, and they take the city over. There was no chance for the Trojans. It was a wrap. And I'm just kidding about the Greeks. If I know any Greeks, I'm sorry. I know it's just legend. Whatever. Remember, these stories are told professionally. Alright, was that it about the horse? There is more about it with the gods and stuff, but it got too nerdy and I wanted this one to just kind of go with the flow. Alright, now the story of the horse. It's another love story. Because are you guys drinking anything? What are you guys sipping on? Let me know in the comments. If you're on YouTube, let me know in the comments as well. I don't know why I differentiated. Marijuana affects the memory. Okay, so Poseidon, the god of the ocean, falls in love with Demeter, the goddess of the earth. And, well, actually, yeah, no. The goddess of agriculture. Well, the earth, I guess, the food, not the earth itself. He falls in love with her, and she refuses his advances, and he's trying to find ways to convince her, like, you know, give me a shot or give me a chance, you know. And they're immortal. They got time. They're not worth shit. He had tons of time to figure one out, so he finally figures out a way at least to get her to be open to trying, like, this is his chance. So the chance was he offers her to create the most beautiful animal on land that she's ever seen that she'll ever see in her life. And boy, he tried. This is how we have dogs and cats and hippos and giraffes and elephants and frogs and goats and sheep and oxen and ostriches and alligators and every 4-legged creature, zebras you could think of. She just, nah, nope, but then he created horse, and it won her heart. Yeah, I like that one too. Alright, so for the story of winter, this one's tragic love story upon them, I guess. Not so much. Before this story, there was never winter. Before this happened, there was never winter. And because this happened, this is why winter travels around the world the way it does. And again, I said earlier, the mama bears, this one's for you guys. Hades was the god of the underworld. That was his domain. Oh, fun story about that. When they overthrew Cronus, who was the one that cut off the balls of heaven and threw him into the ocean, Zeus overthrew his father. And the eldest three decided to, I think it was the equivalent to drawing straws. I think it was sticks, and whoever picked the shortest one. Zeus won the sky, Poseidon won the ocean, and Hades won the underworld. And he always kind of spited that. Oh yeah, cheers to the truly. So that's how that was divided. That's how Zeus became king. It was random, and Hades always spited that. Persephone was the goddess of the grain and she was Demeter's daughter, so she was Earth's daughter. Here we go. Alright, so keep in mind, Demeter, wherever she stepped, or wherever she was around, or wherever she focused her power on, would keep the food growing and the wind blowing and the trees green and the grass and everything. It was her and her daughter's energy that did that around the world. They were mother and daughter, they were best friends, they were our food, we needed them. They were our warmth, they were our spring, they are our flowers, they are our vegetables and fruit, they are everything for us. So here we go, guys. Persephone danced her way to the garden alone and tried to pluck a narcissus from the bosom of Gaia. It drained her energies as the narcissus only came out, only came out after a lot of pulling, but suddenly, to her utter fright, she saw the tiny hole from which she had drawn out the flower shaft begin to rapidly grow in size until it started to resemble a mighty enormous chasm. From this came a vigorous galloping sound of multiple horses, and such sudden happenings only froze the frail beauty to her feet. Out of all her friends, only the naiad Cyan tried to rescue the crying Persephone, but she was no match for the powerful Hades. Bereaving her friend's kidnap, Cyan melted into a pool of tears and formed the river, Cyan at the spot. Oh, she was so heartbroken her friend got kidnapped, she turned into a river. I can't get over to play patty cake with me. Thanks, cuz. I'm loving this stand. It's freaking awesome. Alright, wait. Demeter rushed back to where she had left her daughter and found only the Cyan River there with the other nymphs weeping. Worried as she was, she asked all of the whereabouts of her beloved daughter. Nobody could tell her anything at all, and furious that they couldn't protect her child, she cursed all the nymphs into becoming heinous women with plumed bodies and scaly feet and called them sirens. I didn't know that this was how mermaids were made. So I'm learning, I learned something too. That's freaking awesome. Well, I mean, that's sad for them, but it was only the river Cyan who helped her by washing over the belt of Persephone, indicating that something gravely wrong had happened. Demeter went mad and hunted for her daughter everywhere. The myth says that she even disguised herself as an aged lady with lighted torch in her hands, roamed the earth for 9 long days and 9 long nights. About those 9 long days and 9... Wait, does it give me to Okay, so for those 9 long days and 9 long nights, wherever she wasn't on the planet was dying. Picture every time her foot would touch the earth, the flowers and grass would start to grow, but once she picked it up to take her next step, they would start to wither away already. She missed her daughter so much, she didn't give a fuck about the planet or, you know, the mortals nonetheless. Her daughter was missing and she couldn't even focus enough to keep us alive, which wasn't her responsibility. It went on so bad that the other gods were losing so many worshippers that they had to intervene together to, like, get Zeus, like, hey, like, you gotta do something, bro, like, you're, look, like, everyone, and Zeus agreed. So, before, okay, so just that real quick. That's what happens when Mother Earth is unhappy. That's where winter comes from. So the balance. Finally, she met Hecate, the deity of magic, witchcraft, spirits, and crossroads, at the dawn of the 10th day, who had pity at her dismal condition and asked her to seek help from the all-seeing Helios, the sun god. Helios told Demeter all about how Hades had dragged Persephone into the underworld. Persephone in the underworld. Demeter begged her brother Hades to allow Persephone to come back to the living, denoting that the young Persephone was not supposed to live in the underworld. Hades consulted with Zeus, and they both decided to allow Persephone to live on Earth for 6 months each year, while the rest of the time she had to be on his side in the underworld. In most myths, it says she only ate 3, and she only has to go back for 3. So for 6 months of the year, they're happy, and it's spring and summer, and then for 6 months of the year, she's sad, and then we get fall and winter. So, yeah. That's the story of the seasons, guys. I hope you guys like that little adventure. I wanted to keep this one short and sweet today. I don't even think I have a roach. I can't even reach my phone to end this video. Alright, guys. Again, any topics you would like me to discuss, feel free to leave them in the comments. Alright, I'll be back sooner than later for episode... I know I posted it was episode 14 this one. I completely forgot I posted an episode 14. Everything's just been so crazy in my life right now. So episode 16 will be up sooner than later. Episodes 11, 12, 13, the Taco Bell special, and 14 are already up on YouTube. Go ahead and catch up and check them out. Like and subscribe. Comment. Love you guys. Appreciate all of you, all of your love, all your support. This is so much fun for me. Yeah, stay Joshy. Now I had to get up and turn this thing off.